Your Next is about a girl who goes home with her boyfriend to meet his family for the first time. They're having kind of a get together for the first time in years, the whole family.
We have sort of this dysfunctional family that's coming together for the first time in many years.
And we've all shown up when all hell breaks loose.
And comedy hijinks ensue in the form of masked intruders.
And we're not sure why or where they're coming from, inside the house, outside the house, if we're going to make it out alive. Some people will and some people won't.
No, don't!
I think it was around the time when I was editing A Horrible Way to Die that I watched the opening scene of Scream just on Netflix randomly, and I just was reminded how much I enjoyed like the way that opening set piece was constructed and how creepy it was, but also really fun. And then I started thinking about the fact that the last few movies that I'd really enjoyed were all home invasion movies.
One of the things that most people don't know about Adam and my working relationship is he never knows what I'm writing until I deliver a complete draft that I'm happy with. Like, meaning he doesn't know the story or the characters, and I'll tell him almost nothing about it. We'll come up with a basic premise, like, oh, let's do a serial killer movie, or let's do a home invasion thriller. But from that point on, he has no idea what I'm doing in terms of tone, story structure, or anything. But that's so that when he sees the script, he can approach it kind of as a viewer.
We kind of come at each project with a sort of subgenre in mind that we want to tackle. And Simon goes off and he takes his own spin on it. And I wait around patiently, usually bored until he's done, which usually it doesn't take that long. But he brings back a script, and then I take that script, and it's usually, even though it's like the subgenre that we picked out in this case, like a home invasion movie, it was, especially for this film, it was so much different than what I expected. But that was never like a bad thing. I was always, I was really excited at the fact that it was something that was already challenging me and putting me in different directions and kind of keeping me off guard.
Colin Geddes, the Midnight Madness programmer at Toronto, where we had the premiere of Your Next, he describes them as movies where people are tied to chairs, which is a really good way to put it, because if there's a movie where someone's tied to a chair, they're like screaming and being tortured, and you also know that the scene is fairly static. It's not going to go anywhere for at least a good 5 to 10 minutes because someone's tied to a chair. That kind of got my brain working. I saw a couple films in particular that really were just kind of nonstop torture, and I don't have any judgment on that, really. I just don't enjoy it, and it didn't feel new. And I was kind of like, how would I do this differently? Adam kind of wanted to do something really scary and intense, and I was more pushing us towards the idea of doing a home invasion movie that was fun. Like trying to do a home invasion movie that actually like had kind of the beats of a screwball comedy, but still delivered as something that was scary and intense.
Okay, we should each carry a weapon.
We didn't have anyone in mind for the lead role and of Aaron, and it was really challenging getting managers and agents in Hollywood to understand what made Your Next different from just a low-budget horror movie that they wouldn't want their client to touch, with a 10-foot pole. It was very hard to be like, no, we're trying to do something like subversive and funny here. We're not just making, a low-budget home invasion thriller.
The thing about Sharni is she kind of fit everything that we wanted, which was we needed a very physically athletic person who could not only like pretend to do the things that her character does, but actually be able to pull it off in a believable way. And Sharni's dance background we knew was going to be really beneficial to creating a realistic heroine, basically.
It's not your typical heroine for a horror film where you're talking like your female damsel in distress type situation. She's incredibly strong. She's definitely a survivor and a fighter, and she's not what you see at first. What you see is not what you get with her at first, which I think takes her on an amazing journey through the movie. And I'd been looking to do an action role for some time. And Aaron definitely conquers this movie in all sorts of physicality and action, so.
Hop. Good. Hop. Good. Hop. Very good. Nice. Yeah.
They're soft gloves, but they're good.
So these are just simple little drills that practice her timing and things like that. And as you can see, she's very good at it. So we just keep practicing.
He's very good at it. Teaching.
I'd always wanted Barbara Crampton for the mother, and I just didn't think we could possibly get her because she was kind of retired. But Jeffrey Combs and Stuart Gordon, who made Reanimator with her, were at an early screening of A Horrible Way to Die, and they were really positive about it. They came up and talked to me afterwards about it, and so I was like, okay, so she'll turn it down like everyone, would, and then we'll tell her to talk to her friends, and they'll vouch for us. And instead, she read the script and was like, okay, great, I'll do it. I'm not retired anymore.
I hadn't been acting at all for like 10 years and just raising my children in San Francisco and really thinking that I was never going to act again and not even caring. I was teaching gardening classes at my kids' school, which I still do. And it was kind of like a dream, a really beautiful, lovely dream.
Working with Barbara was intimidating because she's very good. And I've been watching her for 20 years. But it was great. It's such a privilege when you're a fan of film and you then get to make films for a living, and especially when you get to work with people whose work you've revered for years. So there's the part of it that's very intimidating when you meet them and when you start working. But by the time you're 4 takes into something, you've kind of dispensed with all of that and are then just sort of living in the moment, actor to actor. And in that regard, it was very enriching, fulfilling for me because Barbara's a great performer. So getting to see her start working again and getting to play her son was great.
AJ's the kind of guy I like to work with anyways, just because he's another kind of like Sharni type where I just don't feel like I have to worry about them. I don't have to, hold their hand through anything. I don't have to hope that they give me something good. They just do.
What drew me to your next was the phone call that I got from Adam and Simon saying they were going to make it. And they were being so kind with me, telling me, oh, we're going to send you the script in a little while. I was like, no, I'm in. I'll do it. But I had such a good time and good working relationship, and it was both a career-changing and life-changing experience for us to kind of find each other on the last one. So I'd found people that I felt really good about collaborating with. So no matter what the content would have been with the script, no matter what it had been about, I would have been interested in doing it.
I had a great time working with AJ Bowen. He was one of my new favorite people in the world. It's no mistake if you follow anything that I do on social media that I just, he is an actor that is so charismatic and so present and so surprising, and you just don't know what he's going to do at any moment. And I just had a wonderful time working with him.
Swanberg just really stepped it up on this film to me. I mean, I always love working with Joe, but he really blew me away with what he brought with the character and just how he was able to dominate the scenes in a very fun kind of way.
Adam and I spent a lot of the last year working together. We co-directed a film. I acted in another film of his. He acted in several films of mine and helped me shoot a few. So he and I already have a shorthand coming into making Your Next. And also I acted in A Horrible Way to Die, which Simon Barrett also wrote. So I hope that I kind of understand Adam and Simon's sensibilities.
Joe Swanberg is hilarious in this movie. I think when I read it, I saw that there was some comedy in the movie, but I didn't realize how funny it was going to be until Joe Swanberg started acting, and I was watching him going, what? What is he doing? Oh my God, what is he doing? He is frickin' brilliant. And then there's this wonderful scene between AJ Bowen and Joe Swanberg that I loved.
It was really hard holding it together on set many times, just because it was the absurdity of the situation and the way Joe and AJ played these scenes. They were so funny, and the stuff they came up with. But it's also like what families fight about, and argue about, and all families argue about things. And these guys just took it to a whole nother level.
She was my TA, but we stopped because we figured that was inappropriate.
It's a little unprofessional.
What?
Wendy Glenn is adorable, cute, sweet, and very badass in this movie.
The whole home invasion thing I find a very scary idea. You know, everyone's contained, there's nowhere to go, and it's just kind of, and the whole idea of a family getting targeted, all that kind of stuff, I just think that's a great premise for a movie because it's kind of, it's a frightening idea in general. And I would say another thing that drew me to this particular project was the fact that Shani, my roommate, is obviously playing another character in it. So that was definitely a draw for me.
I really liked how it sort of started out and seemed to be kind of a conventional sort of slasher film, family kind of trapped in a house and home invasion, and then sort of different kind of layers get peeled back and you find out that not all is what it seems. So there were a lot of surprises. I remember the first time I read the script that kind of jumped out and had that impact, and I remember being really impressed by that and really surprised by how it all sort of turns out.
Horror films are really cool because you're in a situation, these like life or death situations, and you don't know like how you're going to react to things. And I just really in the moment try and like pretend like the dead person is my like mother or my sister or something, and you know, but no, usually not. It's not any sort of different preparation other than, you know, getting ready to be all bloodied up.
Clayton Barber, who was our fight and stunt choreographer, is absolutely incredible, and it was just such a joy to work with him.
Meantime, you're either gonna claw at her, or we might do this thing where you bite her arm because she's got you by the hair. So you might do this, this causes you to let go, right? Meanwhile, you've got this pan, by the by, in your hand. Your reaction to that is, dong! You hit her across the head that sends her into this corner, right? In the meantime, as soon as you hit her this way, Felix is gonna get up. That's when you, excuse me real quick, Wendy. That's when you get up to the door is there. You're gonna kick the door, that knocks him back down. So it's like, boom, hits him down like that. While you knock him down like that, she immediately gets up, jumps on your back, does one of these.
To be in that scene where you're getting to choreograph, literally, like a 3-minute routine. I'm speaking as a dancer right now, but that's how it felt. It was like stepping onto set and literally choreographing this 3-minute fight scene where we got to use props and gadgets and effects and you know, elements of oil and water and things that just change up the game.
You go and you start to step forward and you fall, boom, right? And you will bite her hand.
Right.
I'll put it to where you'll.
Will I have my hand on her like that?
Yeah, you'll grab it and you'll pull it around, and we'll do a crew thing. You know, you bite it, right? Then you let go. That lets it go. That held action. And she bangs your head. Boom. Go this way. You're gonna slide that way. Now you get back up since the meantime, right? And then you go from there. You do a kick. You kick the door. Boom. Push it back that way. Very good.
Ready? And action.
Yeah, this stunt right now is we're setting up for Renee. Is going to be the stunt lady coming out of this window. We got a platform set up there, and there will be a breakaway glass when you're sitting up there, and she'll basically be up there, and she'll spot it, take her own cue, and then on 3, 2, 1 action, she'll jump out the window, and I'll be down here sort of safety in it. It's a pretty easy gig, easy breezy. It's in the life of a day of a horror picture.
Here we go. Rolling.
You guys got it?
Everybody set? AP?
Set.
Ready? 3, 2, 1, action! Okay?
Yep.
Good.
Okay, everybody stay clear. All right, that's a cut.
Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, action! Okay?
Okay, let's cut.
Good.
All right.
It's hard to go past a scene where you get to beat over the head numerous times the man that wrote the movie. And I do get to do that in this movie, and I get to beat Simon Barrett over the head with a mallet. And that was a lot of fun, because he wrote the movie, so here I am killing the writer off.
Action. One more time.
3, 2, 1, action! 3, 2, 1, action!
Can we do that one more time?
I'm not one of those people that really looks down on horror or thriller or anything like that. I think a lot of people like assume that it's one of those things that you want to just like either do forever or you want to like do and then break out of. But I think that there's, I like the idea of being able to go back and forth, and I definitely like the idea of doing other genres, but I think that, you know, horror and thriller is really where I gel.
I'll do anything for Adam. Like I will do 10 seconds in any movie that he ever directs. I love his style and I think he's extremely talented and really humble about it.
I love Adam, yeah, he's great. Really knows what he wants, but is still sort of really there with all the actors and all the crew, and it's just been a great experience working with him. I really admire him, and you know, to really be at the helm of something like this and just be able to, you know, keep his sort of singular vision, and no matter what happens, he knows whether it's going to work and knows if he can move on, or if he doesn't quite get it, then he knows that he has to go back and take a little more time with things.
If you could just like kind of like pretend to be going like get as much pressure on it as you can, and then like
almost like do the thing, you know, under. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, that looks cool.
The way that it's shot, the way he shoots things is, it's all very close and intimate, and I think that really creates the tension.
He is such a hands-on director. He also shot a lot of this movie himself. He gets in there with the Steadicam and it's on his shoulders and he's sweating. And he's in there and he's lying on his back with the camera up and he's moving around the set with the actors and he's part of this.
You don't know what he's shooting until afterwards, and you see it back and you just go, wow, like it just makes him so much raw. He's very raw in the way that he shoots, and you feel like it's very, I don't know, you feel like you're kind of an observer, you know, like you really like shouldn't be watching. It's almost so personal and so intimate that that's what makes it so scary.
It's been a pleasurable experience. I mean, everybody, the crew is excellent. I couldn't ask for anything more. So yeah, I'm happy. I like working, you know, especially out of town. It's good to get out of LA.
Well, it was Missouri, so you know, first time anywhere out there, and it was an amazing situation because I hadn't even seen snow in my life. I'd seen it once, but I'd never seen it actually snow from the sky, and I got there and it was snowing the second day I got there, which was just, it was like a winter wonderland. And I just sort of walked outside of our motel that we were staying at and just was in awe of this weather and being in the snow and like letting the snowflakes fall on my face, and it was just bizarre. So that was definitely something that I remember very clearly, was the snow upon arrival.
It's fun to be here shooting it, and it's also fun to be around a lot of really talented art department people and special effects people, and it's just like a cool environment. I'm learning a lot. I'm watching people work, trying to steal tricks and tips.
We had a very young, hip, fun cast and crew. Our director's super young, our producers are young, you know, our writer's young, and all of our cast, we were all just very relatable to each other and very much just on the same page, which just, you know, made for such an instant family environment. So we just had the best time shooting this movie.
Up, down, up, down, up, down.